All I hear is talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. The she be down the ride, oh I bet that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is JH. How you doing, Postal family? Is everybody good? Is everybody cool? Is everybody clean? Is everybody crisp? And everybody, are you feeling irie today? See me I say. Today, I'm going to play the video from the APWU Union President, Jonathan Smith, and I will give you some feedback off of it and opinion. And one of you guys sent me your opinion about where everything is going as far as the post office and what they are attempting to do. Their opinion as well. I felt like this was a very good opinion because they were clearly with the union before and they have seen structures like this, and says that this is probably where the USPS is headed. Stick around. You know, you can watch Mr. Smith, and then we'll get to some opinions behind it. All right, let's go.
Hey, this is Jonathan Smith, President of New York Metro Area Postal Union. And I'm coming to you with probably the most important message that I have ever delivered. The American People's Post Office is in trouble. And the reason that we're in trouble, we have a Postmaster General, Louis DeJoy, that cares nothing about the People's Post Office. Louis DeJoy, from the very first day that he became Postmaster General, has done nothing but degrade the service that we provide the American people. Then he had the nerve to do an article in the New York Times, basically portraying himself as the best thing that ever happened to the Postal Service. But I'm here to remind you that a leopard does not change his stripes. That before Louis DeJoy came to the Postal Service, he was anti-union and anti-service as the leader of XPO Logistics. Yes, the same XPO Logistics that he awarded a $120 million contract to move postal mail as a private contractor. He took out the mail processing equipment to make it harder for us to do our job, and he continues to short staff us. He's building these major distribution centers so he can close small post offices in probably the most disenfranchised communities, black and brown communities, that he can. And he wants us not to believe what our eyes see. Mr. DeJoy is a cancer, so we must go to Lafayette Plaza to tell the truth about this man and what he's doing to the People's Postal Service. A little more than 50 years ago, postal workers were met with the challenge of preserving and protecting the Postal Service. And it started right here in New York, where they went out on strike to make the Postal Service better for the next generation. Yes, that was me and a lot of you. And I can remember seeing this documentary about the Great Postal Strike of 1970, and they asked the woman, since it was a wildcat strike and it was illegal and she could be fired, and she said, "You could lose everything. Why would you go out on strike?" And she said, "It's bigger than me. I had to make the Postal Service better for the next generation that was coming behind me. I had to make the Postal Service better because the American people deserve better." 50 years later, 2023, we now have to answer the call. Will we get on the bus and go to Washington, D.C. like our predecessors did for us? And will we fight for the People's Postal Service? And will we tell the truth about this Postmaster General and his 10-year plan on how he's trying to privatize the Postal Service without saying that he's privatizing the Postal Service? I need you to call the union office, 212-563-7553, or go to your shop stewards and give them $5 that's in cash or in money orders to reserve your seat on the bus. And that money is refundable contingent upon you showing up on May 9th and riding to DC. See, I fight all the time, and your labor leaders all over the country fight all the time. But what good is my fight if the people that I'm fighting for are not there fighting with me? Because I'm not the union, we are the union. And let me make this very clear to you. This is not an APWU event. This is a postal event. We invite carriers, rural carriers, mail handlers, and we invite every craft in APWU. That's clerks, maintenance, motor vehicle, support services, even the nurses. But most of all, we invite the American people to be out there on May 9th. The buses will leave at 8 o'clock in the morning. What excuse will you have? Because the job you save might be your own. I don't want to hear about babysitting. I don't want to hear about overtime. Because if you want to continue to pay for that home, that car, the clothes on your back, the food on your stomach, it all starts with your job. It all starts with you showing up and showing out. Get on the bus, because if you're not there, then you don't care. See, this is not about Jonathan Smith. I got more years behind me in the Postal Service than I got in front of me. This is about that newly converted PSC. This is about that PTF looking to make regular. This is about somebody that only got 5 or 10 years in the Postal Service and got a long way to go. I want you to have the same benefits that was afforded to me. Not through any actions of my own, but the sacrifice of people that came before me that cared. But you have to get on the bus. You have to let your voice be heard. There are people coming from all over the country. New York Metro, will you be there? We led the fight in 1970, and I expect us to lead the fight in 2023. Get on the bus. And if I get enough people from the Jersey side, I will be sending buses to Jersey, and we'll be leaving out of Jersey and New York. I want as many buses as possible going down to LaFont Plaza, and I'm hoping to see our national leadership there. I'm hoping to see them there and stand up with the people you represent and say enough is enough. Stop the consolidations. Stop the short staffing. Stop the hostile work environment. But the message that I want to send that's most important, this fight is not only for that. This fight is for that elderly person that need their medicine timely and efficiently through the mail. This fight is for that veteran that needs to hear from home timely and efficiently. This fight is for that small business owner that can't compete with these large conglomerations. This fight is for you. This fight is for the American people. The U.S. mail is not for sale. It's the people's post office, not the Joy's post office. And this is to send a message to the Board of Governors. And this message is also to President Biden. Will you put people on the Postal Board of Governors that will give us a Postmaster General that cares about the people's post office, that is concerned with making the people's post office better? Or will you continue to give us a businessman that has no other concern but making money and making his private business entities and partners rich? Please, May 9th, 8 o'clock in the morning, get on the bus. The job you save may be your own.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack there. My opinion, I don't want to get on the bus. I don't. And there are other people that are gung-ho for it, but I don't. There was a couple of bits of information in there that seemed like, again, it was gaslighting. He brought certain things up that I felt like were political, as far as, you know, they're closing stations down in poor neighborhoods and so on and so forth. So because I'm a truck driver and I go to all the different stations, I know for a fact that a few of the post offices that are getting closed down are in neighborhoods with the average of $500,000 a year. So that's not true, Mr. Smith. If you watch, I doubt you do. And I mean, $500,000 a year is, you know, it's a little more than middle class. And they're shutting a couple of those down where I'm at. So it's not targeted at one specific range, saying that, you know, disproportionately black people or, you know, our minority neighborhoods are getting shut down. That's not the case. Also, the screaming, it definitely wasn't necessary. You know, it's one thing to try to get your point across, but If you're attempting to get your point across where there's a purpose, that wasn't the way. Because from what we saw the other day, when everybody wore the sticker on their shirt to represent something, to make people feel like something was happening, hey, put it in your videos or on the website and say, yeah, man, there's some stuff that we accomplished when you guys wore your sticker. I'm trying to be serious right now. But yeah, so I'm not, but I understand the purpose. We got to stand for something to fall for everything. You guys, if you feel like, there was some work there, maybe I looked over, leave it in the comment section. But this was interesting. Individual that wrote me is a police officer, ex-police officer, and this is very, very, very detailed. I don't have my glasses on, so bear with me. Prediction. Union perspective. You ready? This is from a union perspective. 25-year on my board. New sick policy will be established by the next contract. Think about this. The union is going to agree with DeJoy, and the spending on anything belt is going to be tightened. Meaning they're not just going to be wasteful with their money. Terminations are going to happen for failure to do your duty. It's a government job, yes, but it has rules. Military structured. It's been unorganized for way too long. He said each shop steward will eventually be held accountable, just like managers and postmasters. Discipline the problem. Set an example. Reduce sick calls and workload issues. States that his department has 130 officers and supervisors. They get 30 vacation days a year, 15 sick a year. Internal affair watches them. Complaints come in and union is informed. End of the day, the union president and police director negotiate discipline, kind of like how it works with us. Easy to lose job. He said, we go and check if you're home. That's not enough to play around. So with them, if you do a bunch of call outs, they actually go past your home and check to see if you're there. Another prediction, maybe 2 contracts from now until the 10-year plan is over, right? There's about 2 more, yeah. Fewer employees, but everyone who makes it through this change will be in a higher salary, but definitely expected to do their job. Rank and file, just like the military. You will also have to change in the hiring. They're gonna make better standards and they get better candidates. Again, that's an opinion. I believe that everything that he said was very, very, very clear. And that's not too far off from everything that we see that's going on today. So again, these are predictions. It's just a comment. It's an assumption. And I kind of agree with it. If DeJoy is, you guys just saw Miss K's video. DeJoy is not happy with the bunch of call outs. They're starting to crack down on the call outs. They're starting to crack down on the lazy workers. They're squeezing the neck. And there is going to be a ripple effect. This is just a prediction. This is just a discussion from my end. But again, who am I? Just a truck driver, as some may say. Leave your thoughts, leave your opinions in the comment section. Do not pick on me because I couldn't read it because I can't see. This damn thing has very, very, very tiny words. I wish you guys could see it from there, but this is what it looks like to me. Very tiny words. All right. This is JH. Let's chat. Let's chat. We out.